like to welcome everybody to the first, hopefully good episode of the Backyardi'Yinz, the Pittsburgh Backyard Wrestling Podcast. Let's give it up for us.
Hey!
Yeah.
It's like saying really cool. Guardian, but Yardian.
Yardi'Yinz, Backyardi'Yinz.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as it sounds, but like by the end of it, it'll be a household name. Everybody will know how to say it.
So they say if something's hard to say, it's a bad name. So we're already off to a bad start.
Very true. Love that.
So what are we here to do? We're going to talk about some backyard wrestling from the late 2000s, mid to late 2000s, you know. Tell stories of us growing up, getting older, do some fun stuff. Come on, get out of here. But yeah, like just essentially why we're friends, how we're friends, what we used to do, like growing up. This stuff was very important to us. So why not get together and talk about it, right? Like,
amen.
A lot of these people, they maybe still talk to each other occasionally. They'll get together over the internet, you know. They'll do a podcast similar to this, like the Top Tertia guys did, where they all, like, in different states get on, talk to each other for a couple minutes. But it took, 15 minutes for us to drive here? Like, we're all still within borderline walking distance of each other.
I would not walk that far.
I wouldn't do it.
I've walked.
We are.
Yeah,
we definitely are.
I could walk.
But if you had to...
I've walked to Kennywood from
but
my
it would
house.
still be
right.
far.
I wouldn't do that again, but you can if I needed to.
Right.
On a spring evening, I would walk
I could
here.
ride my electric scooter here all day. It wouldn't be an
I could
issue.
ride on your electric scooter.
I don't know if I'd let you. So, either way, so we're going to take a trip on the SS nostalgia here. Ride our way back. We're going to start at ETW. So before we start at ETW, we're going to go around the room and introduce everybody. Me specifically, I'm not important today. I'm Rick. I'll talk about me later. But over here to my left, we have the Steel Valley Division II men's softball champion, the champ. What's your name? Tell them about yourself.
Yeah, I'm JP.
Yeah,
Wrestled as Jay Pizzle.
Is that it?
I think so.
That
pretty sure JP and Jay
There was
Pizzle.
another one in there.
Echo.
Oh, yeah.
call. Yeah, good call.
The CTK names, everybody has
I'm
them.
pretty sure I'm more popular by the champ because
You better be.
you know
Better
what I'm saying?
recognize.
Yeah, yeah.
And as we'll learn today, that nickname is not very fitting of you up until, I guess, yesterday, right?
Yeah, no. I never won anything in my life, to be honest. Race car driving, I was pretty good at that. I won a lot of
HWC Tape
championships
2
there,
Right.
has something to say about that.
Yeah.
So, to the left of him, we have our fearless leader, the guy who owns the studio that we're in today.
Stud.
The man with the plan for the sound. We have Dominic.
Hi.
Hi, Dominic.
Hi there.
What was your wrestling name?
My wrestling name was Mad Dog, spelled with one D, because that's how I wanted to do it.
No spaces.
No space.
Right.
MADOG.
Right, that's gangster.
And it was also Wasted. And then it was Mad Dog.
Yeah.
And then it was Wasted again. If I'm not mistaken.
No, it became...
According to his videos.
I liked Mad Dog,
Yeah.
so I wanted to make your name Mad Dog again, but then I really like Wasted, so I decided you were Wasted
That's
again.
fair.
It went back and forth a lot at the... I think you retired as Mad Dog, though.
I
at the
hope
end.
so.
I think the last little run you have, I'm pretty sure I had you on there as Mad Dog.
Good. That's safe.
And to his right, we have the most popular person on the podcast. If you look on the SWC Videos YouTube channel, there's not a lot of videos with 1,000+ views, and most of them have his name in it, even if people are watching it because they think it's an advertisement for an ADHD medication. We have Steve.
Hello.
So what was your wrestling name?
Beastie. Then I was referred to as Cowboy Steve, and I didn't know that.
I don't.
Sick.
And then Sean Phoenix, and then Focalin, and then Phoenix.
And then Phoenix,
and
right?
then now Sean Phoenix and Pro.
And when you went to the Phoenix thing, most people didn't give a fuck. They just called you Sean Phoenix anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like as far as
I don't think I knew
Right.
that there was no
Textually.
Sean there.
What, at the
I
end?
missed that.
I don't think you were around for the end.
No,
It
Sean?
would make sense.
Just Phoenix? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it was after I took like 8 months off from my concussions. That I came back as Phoenix.
So that's a little bit about all of us. That's our names, at least, you know. At the very least, we could tell you that. And the topic for today's episode is Extreme Trampoline Wrestling. This
whoop.
was, okay, first of all, before we get into Extreme Trampoline Wrestling, we got to give a shout out to Josh Todd. He should be here today.
Love that guy, man.
So, keep it 100 with you guys. I tried to make a super show move. And my plan was this moment happens right here. And I say, how can we do this without Josh Todd? And then he walks through the door.
I'd out of shit my pants.
I offered to pay for his flight.
Wow.
I told him, get your ass out here. I'll do this. It'll be a great surprise. And I guess either he didn't take me seriously or maybe he just didn't want to. You know, like a million reasons. But like the offer was there.
Or, he has an adult life.
Right,
and
yeah.
stayed very far away. And
Yeah. No, but actually he seemed excited about this too. So
yeah, dude,
like,
that probably would have been more exciting than any super show that I've ever been to.
Which
honestly.
is probably a good thing we didn't set all that up because he would have been waiting to hide for like an hour and a half before we got this shit going, you know?
Honestly.
Yeah, dude, he would have smelled the pizza, just been sweating in the bathroom. So it's probably better that it didn't happen that way, but we have to talk about Josh Todd. It was his trampoline and all that shit. So before ETW, what did you do?
No, you've been...
Yes. It started with wrestling at recess in like 5th grade, which mainly was just getting choke slammed over and over again, and then filming little matches, if you can call them that, with my buddy Gary and Steve, who is not me, Gary Lane and Steve O'Shell. Okay. And then we would just like set up tables with plywood and just slam each other through those, and then it turned into like matches that usually was like a ladder match that had like a belt on like my tree in my backyard, and that was that.
No pictures or videos or anything of that stuff?
I had a video of it, but then my external hard drive got completely destroyed, and I lost everything.
That's very sad.
Oh my God, it is so traumatic because like I had such an organized, file collection of all my pro matches. The tape may exist somewhere. And it might be at my dad's somewhere.
I feel that.
we know all about that. That seems to be a continuing circumstance when it comes to ETW footage.
It's unfortunate.
Tapes.
So that was you before ETW. How about you? JP. I'll say your name because there's going to be people that only listen to this and not actually watch it.
Yeah.
JP,
Were you talking wrestling before?
Yeah, anything at all.
I mean, probably just messing around, like up in the field, like you were talking about. I know that group of kids. We did like we would call them like scavenger hunts, and we would just find some strange things to do. And I'm sure some wrestling was involved in that, but yeah, no, I don't think I ever really got involved in anything before the trampoline.
El Presidente Dominic, did you do anything before ETW?
Not officially.
Nothing official.
I just had the Hulk Hogan wrestling buddies, and I had a bedtime that was before sunset.
We should have brought that. Dude, they're literally in your
They're
basement.
in my basement.
They should be up here right now. There's no reason.
Well, it's like a teaser.
We have done a take of this exact conversation before as like a test. And we even thought about, you still got those things in your basement. We could have easily brought them up.
The amount of time it would take me to walk down there and come back.
Very difficult.
Yeah. But I would just kind of wrestle them until I got tired and fell asleep as a very young child. So you could say pretending to wrestle.
All right. So yeah, just essentially the try this at home stuff. Like you're doing suplexes with the homies.
And it made sense to do it in your bed because it was like the closest thing to like what you would consider a wrestling ring as a child. I don't know.
I know, like me and my brother, we would like take the cushions off the couch.
Okay.
And like, yeah, we would definitely pull some wrestling moves on each other on the cushions.
Even though you're like the younger brother, you still almost feel like the big brother. Has it always been like that? Like when you were younger, you power slammed him?
For sure.
Of course. Right. All right. So that's all of the nothing that happened before ETW, but I would like to take you gentlemen into the world of ETW here for the first time. Oh, yeah. So,
nostalgia.
So how did ETW start, Dominic?
This is where we were talking about Josh, getting the money or whatever. So I'm guessing he talked to his mom, and him and his sister decided we're gonna raise money, for Christmas or Easter. I'm not sure which one it was. And he bought that trampoline. So he says that he bought it with the idea of wrestling on it. So I must have been friends with him at the time because I remember him not having a trampoline at one point.
Were you ever not friends with him? Like you guys were essentially neighbors forever, right?
He did not live on the street when I moved there.
Okay.
Some other kid did, and then he moved in, and then we became friends very fast.
Word.
So I don't know when it would have happened exactly, but we're thinking maybe 2004. Early 2004. He got the trampoline, and then we had the triple threat match.
So this is when you got involved. How
That
did you
is
get
when
involved?
I got
Do you remember?
involved. Yeah. I think, like with me just wrestling, being super into wrestling, and then like Gary and Steve and BJ kind of, they weren't as passionate about it as I was, and they were going into other things, and they wouldn't really want to do that stuff. And then
Because they're lame.
right.
It's probably when we started the scavenger hunts and stuff. Honestly,
Yeah, legit. Because I remember we had like it was like a school, like it was a school day, and like Steve O'Shell had this piece of paper of like, stuff to do, and it was we had like teams. We stole it from Viva La Bam. I
it was
remember.
awesome. Good times.
But then I knew I don't like Dom, because you and I were never super close. But at some point, I guess I realized that you liked wrestling as well, and I don't know how the friendship really started.
I can't pinpoint it, but it was definitely wrestling related.
Yeah, and
it
then
had to have been.
at some point, I think you and I must have been hanging out, and then we made our way down to Josh's, and then decided to have that triple threat match.
So like we assumed this triple threat match was ETW, and it was you as Beastie, me as Mad Dog, and Josh as Little J, and it's probably about 30 to 45 minutes of us doing like suplexes on the count of 3, and then that was it. You won the match. I think there might have been a title involved, and then we it's like that was it. That was like our first technical episode, though I don't think we considered it like ETW, but then I know that that was the greatest day of my life up until that day. Like I remember
that specific triple threat match.
like that was, I felt like I was like on top of the world that day. I was like, we're doing something. So I think I hit you up on AIM like immediately, and I was like, we have to do this every single day. And it must have overwhelmed you, because you and I got into some kind of spat on AIM, and we were not talking for a while.
Right.
So I had to convince my mom to buy me a camera because I needed to wrestle. It was like, oh my God, this is it.
You were the engine in all of this. Like you were the one that's like, this is what the fuck we're doing.
I just needed to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh wanted to as well. So she got it for me. I also remember her saying, like that comment that parents make is like, oh, I'll get this for you. You'll use it once and never use it again. And
right.
There it is.
It still works. Thanks, Mom. But yeah, so we get this camera, and then we just start
You're just in
wrestling. It's just Mad Dog versus Little J 3 times a day. Then it just gets rolling.
So I'm going to play a little bit of background stuff here, just so we have something to look at while we're doing this. And we'll just show a little bit of Inferno while we're at it. I'm going to mute this. Right.
Shout out to PowerPoint, man.
Shout out to PowerPoint.
Which
so that's what I
would've-
was going to get at here. Is like,
Fantastic.
We would have learned that in like 7th grade, 6th, 7th grade, and then okay.
like a school class
Yeah,
situation. Yeah. So the AIM thing happened. Do you remember anything about that? Like why you weren't wrestling with them?
It was probably something really stupid.
So that's another thing we got to think about here is we are all literal children at this time. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
grade
just-
school.
I remember like you and I going like back and forth on Messenger, and I was just getting like more and more annoyed, and you just kept like egging me on. I was like, well, screw this. I don't want to deal with this. And then that was that. And then at that point, like
The greatest entrance of all time. The greatest thing ever.
Just set it down.
Right
nicely.
back into shark mode.
Love that.
So that's what was going on while.
Yeah, just here and there. It wasn't like
Right.
like a thing, but I was like posting on wrestling message boards and stuff, and then did that, and then I guess reached out to Dom at some point and was like, you know what, like I hope I apologize for holding ill will. I
mean, we brought you right in, so I'm sure we were good.
Yeah,
Right,
right,
yeah,
right.
absolutely.
We were hanging out potentially before you
Probably.
even came back.
Right,
I think.
right.
It, whatever it was did not actually last that long.
No.
It just, the idea of you coming back to wrestle with us was like, yep, let's go.
Right.
So we're at the while we're at the beginning here, watching some Inferno, a little pre-show from Out of Control. We're gonna talk about the beginning of ETW. Like, for example, starting the show, we had the logo up there. You were talking about you did something with that logo?
So at that point, Photoshop was a little bit beyond my realm of talent. If I ever even grasped it, I don't know. But I knew somebody that knew how to do it. And I guess maybe, Dom, you probably drew.
No. Josh did.
Josh, okay.
Yeah.
So Josh drew the concept of the logo, the E making the T into the W, and then I sent it to my buddy Jesse.
So badass.
who made... It's
perfect.
Who would do all the graphics for IWC. And I had him do it, and then he just gave me the plain red logo, and I was like, I don't really like how that looks. So then I knew that it was, Extreme Trampoline, and I always thought it was pretty silly how there was nothing extreme about it at all. And I was like, well, I needed it to reflect that it's extreme. And so I thought of the ECW logo that had barbed wire, and it was like, I can't just do barbed wire. So I put cuts and stuff in it, and then I wanted it to like we were patching it up with plywood and stuff.
Right.
I really never.
I always thought that plywood was Band-Aids.
Oh, it's supposed to be
until this very moment.
I mean,
until right now, it's been a Band-Aid in your head.
That's
the whole time you're like, when are you going to talk about the Band-Aids?
Right. I was looking at the logo like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder why there's no square for the Band-Aid thing.
I thought it was like the E was being ripped apart, and that was like the structure of the logo still remaining.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
I love that every one of us had a different opinion on this logo. That's awesome.
You could have asked me at any point. It's not a secret. But I remember I put lines in it because I tried to think I don't know, I needed to not look weird, and for some reason I thought, well, if I put vertical lines in it, then that looks like plywood, and I don't know any plywood that looks like that. But I remember I put I wanted to put a black pixel on the corners of each to look like it was nailed in. But clearly that idea got lost in translation.
I love the logo.
So let's talk about some of the people on the roster, because we have a couple people on the screen right here that aren't in the room right now. Let's just go through everybody. So we'll start with, obviously, Little J, who's not here, and Mad Dog. Mm-hmm. Then we had, at what point did you come in? So, did Dominic hit you up and say, hey, come wrestle? Do you remember?
I don't know.
JP his mic is down here. He's out.
So... he had.
I know. I used to walk home from school with Dominic and Josh every day.
Okay.
It had to have come up in conversation.
And I'm sure at some point I just probably went to Dominic's house, which we ended up going to Josh's house. And
there's a trampoline there. People are wrestling.
That would be
wrestling.
my guess from probably.
Hell yeah.
I don't know.
Just being friends, just being kid friends. Yeah. You guys all lived 4 streets from each other,
I used to go out of my way walking home to walk to Dominic's house and then go home from there for some reason.
I remember the split at the steps.
Yeah.
but also we were all in the same grade. So at this point we were in 7th, 8th grade. So I'm sure we talked about it. We were already. It wasn't like we were strangers.
Who's let's just roll into this guy in the ring here. Who's the guy that did the shark fin and fucked up the entrance?
Don't ask me.
That's Mako.
Mako
was friends with Death, a.k.a. Mackenzie, who lived on our street. So Mako came a little bit before.
Mako's name was Paul.
Paul, yeah.
Paul Huffman.
So you brought up Death. That's that dude in ETW, right?
Yeah. He's the big guy.
Death is he's essentially the Undertaker.
Yes.
Every backyard wrestling company has a Jeff Hardy fan and an Undertaker fan, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Facts. So we have him. We're gonna be introduced to another former member of ETW coming up here in one of the next couple episodes, but that would be our boy Spike, Big Quinn. We'll let him do the talking for himself whenever he comes around, so we won't waste any time talking about Spike. E,
my brother, yeah.
What a character.
My favorite entrance I've ever seen in a backyard wrestling show. There's never been anything better.
I don't know how we came up with that character, because when him and I were wrestling in the attic, we didn't really have characters.
No, when he came to ETW, he wasn't that.
Right, so I don't know where that came from.
He was probably too shy to do it, and then we were like, here we go, we got you, we're going to make you crazy.
Right.
Love it.
It was a great character.
So we're going to stop this now before it gets to the end of this, and so essentially that's where everything came from, right? Those are some of our characters.
Is that Aaron Dottle?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I didn't know he wrestled.
Is there anybody that that we missed on the roster that
Yes,
you want to talk
there's
about?
a ton.
Tony Baloney.
Tony Baloney.
That was our friend Matt.
Who
I remember. Yeah. Essentially, what we
Remember
did was,
he became Young Mafia?
what
he
we
didn't
did
like
was
We'll talk about it.
we went to our friends that we knew liked wrestling that lived nearby, and we're like, "Do you want to do this?" And then
That's fucking awesome.
Matt was interested, and I know like Matt was always like really like proud of his Italian heritage, and I was like,
Because
"What
bro
if-"
is Italian as it gets.
Yeah, and I
Have
was
you
like-
seen him recently?
Yeah.
If you're watching, Matt, you're just gorgeous.
You are a beautiful person.
Absolutely
Great
beautiful.
dude. Great dude.
Unreal.
I remember
Last time I saw him, he had a bandana on.
Right? He
And
just
good for him.
But listen, he was
Cool
like,
as hell.
I got my haircut today, and I'm like, all right, cool, let me see it. He's like, I can't. I'm like, why? And he lifted his bandana, and it's just white as can be, and from here down, it's just so
Tan.
tan.
Oh, my goodness.
dude, it was so funny.
that's funny.
So it was your camera that you guys were using. And speaking of camera, we have some footage that we're going to jump into real quick. We have the earliest footage that we can get our hands on. We're going to watch this as a group. It'll probably do the little split screen thing on the podcast where it shows like mainly what we're watching and we're up in the corner.
Are we watching this whole hour of it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, real quick, let's shotgun the rest of the people that were on the roster. We had Ronnie. His name was the Punisher.
The Punisher.
Then we had Aaron, who we just saw. What was his wrestling name?
Aaron.
Just Aaron. Okay.
Aaron, yeah.
I remember.
Solid.
I remember that the idea was he was on the roster because he could do a 630, and I was like, that's so dumb. Why could he? He doesn't even like wrestling. And then there were other people too in my absence, right? Like Kevin.
Kevin? Yeah, he had two wrestling names. One was Army Ninja,
Army Ninja.
and that was definitely before this tape.
Okay.
And then he had another one, Wild Thing, which you do call me. You call me Wild Thing
Okay.
at some point, which is pretty great.
Hit that button.
Was there anyone else? Nick Unuzi dabbled in it every now and then. I don't remember what his name was.
I think it was just Nick.
It was Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid name.
And I think we just kind of got him involved because he was essentially my neighbor, and he was always at my house, like every day.
Did it
You got
again,
him
man.
involved to form Team ETW.
I'm glad we're watching this because I don't remember shit.
Ain't that the truth?
Oh, man.
So who would this be? This would be Quinn and Dom.
Dominic and Spike.
This is Spike and
Mad Dog.
You know the context of this, right?
So, yeah, what it seems like is going on at this point here is
Wrestling.
why would you trust Mad Dog of all people?
You never trust.
Correct. That's life. I mean, forever.
Right.
Don't ever trust Mad Dog. It
So
never.
there's Death laying on the ground because
Never
Spike
changes.
had just beaten Death and won the ETW championship.
Trusting Mad Dog is equivalent to expecting not to get stunnered by Stone Cold.
That is true. That is true. I would turn on myself if I had to.
I want it now.
So I'm cashing in. I'm double belting up, right?
Dude, that's my favorite line right there.
Did that
Double belting up on a
predate
Tuesday.
the Money in the Bank?
Potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to think I've every thought I've had is a
Original.
unique thought. Yeah, but it's clearly hasn't been the case.
I would send something to WWE about that.
I should.
Yeah.
They probably watch this.
I'd like my March 22nd. No, 2005.
Yeah.
It's time-stamped.
Super Bowl champs,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
or not yet?
No,
Not
we,
yet.
yeah, we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
Super Bowl champs for about a month.
Nice.
Wow.
So this is
This is ETW tape 12.
right. I love listening to Spike. He's selling at least.
Sit down, kid.
So this is the earliest ETW footage that we still have our hands on right now. And it just so happens to be lucky enough for us that this is a great time period to see what's going on in ETW. So, like, we're catching hardcore 14-year-old, everybody fucking middle of adolescence trying to grow up, just being a wrestling fan on a trampoline. And then literally like a year after this, you guys are completely different fucking people. Like having this footage here is really great that we were able to get.
This is like the beginning of puberty.
Right.
The beginning.
Yeah, I was 13 here.
Our voices were
13.
I don't turn 14 until August this year.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Dominic's a year older than me.
But graduated the same year.
Correct.
How'd you pull that shit off?
Because of the way
math.
the school year worked at Mifflin, like the time, like whenever.
I could have been up or down.
We're
My
both
parents chose
August
up.
babies.
Yeah.
I know for a fact. Oh, that was rough.
Dominic is 4 days short of being
Quinn
exactly
murders
a
somebody
year.
with that move later in his life too. And actually, not only that, but this whole scenario repeats where Quinn wins a championship and then he's immediately challenged for the championship and loses it.
Whoa! Spoilers.
Yes, yes, spoilers. It does happen again.
That's fucked. Now I'm not going to be surprised.
No, it's like whenever they show you the end of the movie and then it's like 3 weeks earlier.
Wait, you
okay.
think that Quinn's about to win this match?
No, you are. That's what I'm saying. He had
absolutely,
already
yeah.
won. He beat Death for the title. And now you're about to be like, fuck you, it's my company, I got
I
a
see.
belt.
And really, what more is there to accomplish once you've already defeated death itself?
Right, after you beat
But
Death,
life.
Yeah.
you just got to lose the Mad Dog.
So wait, we're saying that I beat Death or
No,
Spike?
no.
Spike beat Death.
Yes,
Okay, that
yes.
makes way more sense.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
And then you are doing an
Because I don't
impromptu
think I've
challenge.
ever beaten Death.
No, but it would make sense for Spike to do it because they
Yeah.
would roll on for quite a bit of time.
Yeah,
there.
Quinn and are we using wrestling names or real names?
doesn't matter.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
Quinn,
Either or, because I'm not going to remember
Right.
all.
Quinn and Mackenzie, they were like the Undertaker and Kane of ETW. They were just always fighting one another. I
Yes.
don't know why.
That
They
that
were
is true.
they were big.
They had chemistry.
They were
that's true.
tall. It's like the WWE. If you're big and tall, you play the same character.
Right.
Another good thing about us having ETW Tape 12, though, is that is the first episode when Sean Phoenix returns. Okay, so another thing that I have to mention here, it is a requirement that if you wrestle for ETW, you have to have at least 3 different Fox garments at any time. Every single one of you had the shirt, the hat,
Don't
the
you
hoodie.
put me in that clan?
You had, dude, you didn't
No
own
chance.
anything Fox.
No.
JP
that
had
doesn't surprise me. I can
DC
see that.
shoes.
DC shoes for sure.
Never
Yes.
Fox, though. Everybody, okay, so you might be the love
This is
Ranger.
huge. So remember we talked about
my own man.
about us getting into it on AIM?
Yeah.
Right? So this is coming to fruition, you coming
Right.
back.
Right.
So this is your return.
Right. And I just would like to say that the reason why I wore Fox is because I was really into dirt bikes.
Okay.
I didn't actually race
And
them.
everybody
but-
else liked the
You
logo.
you rode them though, didn't you?
Ronnie- Ronnie-
I remember there were times
definitely.
I would ride my dirt bike from my house to Josh's because even though it was close,
Yeah.
like if you have that possibility, why not?
Double strapped.
I rode your dirt bike once and wrecked it.
Where was
Oh,
that?
you
at?
see the little
In McBride
area where
Woods.
we keep our weapons.
I went to like pull off and I didn't know how to stop.
Okay.
And your dad grabbed the handlebars and we fell. Yeah.
Who
Who are you? My guy.
Sideways hat.
Oh my god.
As if okay, so let me. We have not established what that name means.
Right.
As if, like, I'm saying that as if
Right.
you know what that name means.
Right. And like there's 6 other Seans around, so after you say Sean,
Do we have to
nobody
mute
has any
this?
clue what the next name's gonna
Right.
be.
Do we have to mute this?
No, see, I actually dubbed over all this stuff. So if you guys remember your theme songs, you can talk about what they were. But like
These aren't them.
No, I dubbed
Gotcha.
over. I mean, you could
Dude,
like very
quality
faintly
work.
hear them in the background, but I made sure that I killed it. So
Is that another Fox?
Yep.
yes, yeah. Everybody.
That's so
yeah.
funny.
This whole deal here is just foxed out.
Josh was the king of the Jort game.
Josh is the king of a lot of stuff. I wish he was here to talk with us about it instead of me. Because I don't
That
know
is
shit.
so. Oh my god! I cannot believe that the 3 of us have Fox like clothing on, and like none of us notice.
You can't do this to me!
I can't believe no one straightened Dominic's hat ever.
That's not.
I
Dominic's
just
magic.
no, I didn't. I thought I was about to fix it.
If I win, you're out of here. Listen to Josh.
Okay, so for context, Dom and
What the
Josh
fuck is
were
that?
co-owners of ETW.
Absolutely.
And
Right.
Dom was the heel owner, and Josh was the babyface owner. So that's what was happening there. They were constantly at ends with one another, but that was starting my feud with Dom and in a stone cold like rebellious thing.
Dude, it was so awesome.
So then, Sean Phoenix is back now, and that is kind of the beginning of the build to Out of Control, right?
Correct.
Like that's where that started. So we're gonna get to Out of Control, and we're gonna just let her ride for a little bit here.
The production of these things, like these entrances and stuff,
are so good.
amazing.
So this is what I was talking with Ed about. You guys just did shit well. Like, the wrestling sucked. The wrestling was fucking terrible. But the creation of the show and the production and the setting up matches was just fucking done well. Like, it was just very good, man.
Well, thank you.
Loved watching this stuff. Watching it with Dominic has been a very, very fun process.
Pure entertainment.
Am I the only one that keeps seeing this thing and thinks it's a nipple piercing?
I mean,
Probably.
that would be a large nipple, but
Okay,
Yes.
so I always noticed, Dom, how your head looked like it was off of your body.
yeah, it's my little magic trick.
But okay, so we had the Summer Bash show, and then we also had 2 pseudo shows that I remember, where Dom, it was your title versus my hair, because I had long hair at the time, and then you beat me, so then I had to get a haircut.
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
don't remember this one.
Yeah, and I remember we titled it. Well, okay, so it was like a double shot is how I like at this point, like I kind of have like creative input at this point, because I was like kind of modeling like what was going on with IWC and seeing that like there's an alternative to WWE, and we had a show. I don't remember what it was called, but I remember I went through a table, and it was the first time I went through a table. Then immediately we had this second show, and the banners had hair today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I remember the idea was you had swiped in to put your title on the line, taking advantage of my injury because I had gone through a table. And I remember even like selling my back in my entrance because I was injured going into it.
This is good because this was before Out of Control.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then you cheated and you took advantage of my injury, and then I had to cut my hair, which in reality I was just cutting my hair in real life, but I wanted to work it into the story and get you more heel heat.
Cinema at its finest.
Fucking
So
love
then
it.
at that point next would have been what's the name of the Royal Rumble show, Rick? We were talking about that.
Was that Armageddon Battleground?
yes,
maybe?
Armageddon. No. Is that what it was?
The Royal Rumble was Armageddon Battle.
Okay, then yeah. So then we did
Yeah.
that one, and then that was at my house too, because my trampoline didn't have a net. And then
It did for Summer Bash, though.
it did for Summer Bash,
Yeah.
yes. So we took advantage of that, and we did the Royal Rumble, which I won, and then the Summer Bash was like on a fling, like on a like, hey, we're gonna have all these people over, so let's do an
That's
ETW
right.
show.
There were
take
some
advantage.
shardies there.
Yes, there was.
Definitely
And we
some
had light
shotties.
tubes.
We did.
You hit me in the head with a full can of pop.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I
was
wasn't
cool.
Thinking. Sorry. About
No, I'm glad you did
If I
it.
remember correctly, that's the time. Do you remember Doris?
Yeah.
He did his first backflip ever. We convinced him. Do you remember that?
I don't remember this.
Dude,
this
At my
happened.
house?
Yeah,
I don't even know who this person is.
yeah. He did his first backflip on Steve's trampoline, and he landed perfectly. But when he landed, it shot him off the back of the trampoline.
Oh my
And
god.
he landed back first on the ground.
Oh no!
I never did it again.
I have no idea who this person is.
Dude, it's so funny.
So then we did the Royal Rumble at my house. Then we did the Summer Bash, which, like I said, that was just an impromptu thing. Dom and we wrestled each other. I won. The title wasn't on the line, but it was kind of set up the Out of Control, which was the planned our big WrestleMania for some reason.
Yeah, and so around that time,
Interview me?
shit was getting serious. You guys were really fucking
What do you
excited.
feel
Josh
about
Todd
today's
told me
match?
that
How do I
that
feel?
Out of Control was supposed to
I
be
feel
the
great.
biggest fucking day
I'm
of
gonna
his
face
life.
Sean Phoenix.
He loved
Think
it.
about that.
Everybody loved it.
But this is
ETW
out of control,
WrestleMania.
I mean.
We
You
sold
guys
tickets.
thought
So no
so,
matter
yeah,
what
you
it
guys
is, I
thought
beat him
so
like him
highly
last
of
week.
yourselves
Doesn't
that
matter
you
what it
fucking
is,
sold
it's-
tickets.
you're not gonna do
You were out there
something.
slanging them tickets to the family members.
We're not stupid. We're businessmen.
I feel you. I'm just saying, like, you guys were like, we're putting on a show,
Slanging.
and you're paying to see it.
A
Yeah,
whole dollar.
we knew that it was.
Yeah, one whole $1.
Yeah, we knew
Dude,
that it
you're
was
gonna
going to
love this. If you've loved the production so far, this is gonna be like your
Dude, check
favorite
it out.
thing.
That's plywood. Oh no, there's no
Yeah.
plywood. In
Yes,
that
there
one.
is. It's just it's so blown out.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
dude.
being so. This is his monitor in his living room. Josh's Dell monitor, and
As you can see at the bottom of the
Yeah.
screen.
if you watch this really closely, you'll see the shadow of either me or Josh, like just having a good time dancing. Because
definitely.
Because we were hyped. And
the dumbest thing though is we could have fucking filmed this the day before and we didn't. We had to run inside and film this.
Yeah,
and,
well, because that's what we did for Implosion.
Yeah,
because we had everyone there.
There were like little things that we didn't pick up on that we could do. So like while this is happening, we're just so excited.
Right.
And there's probably people outside waiting.
Yeah, like what the hell's going on?
Yeah, like Josh is just in his living room dancing.
Wait, okay? So you hadn't told me this the entire time that we had been watching these. I didn't know that this was live because you told me there was a lot of post-production stuff that was done to the tape.
What does that
You
say?
can't even make that out.
It was just carried over to the tapes in chronological order.
Right. Oh, shit.
But yeah, this was filmed on that camera up against his monitor. So, I mean, we're getting bad.
Dude, for a bunch of 13, 14-year-olds, this quality is
That's
fantastic.
Yes. Look at that.
I mean,
I remember I wanted to do the face-offs for this to make it feel different.
Yeah, that one
First-
was sick.
This match here is a 3 stages of hell match, which for some reason seems to follow this guy around.
Hey.
Yeah. Your 3 biggest matches that you ever have: Out of Control, HWC Tape 2, and versus this man over here. All 3 stages of hell matches.
I love that for me.
And I'm also 100% positive that none of those 3 times was at your decision. You were never like, let me have
Been
a
through
3
9 stages of hell.
Never once did he think, you know what we should do? 3 stages of hell.
I actually think that match with Steve was my last one. So like
Your last 3 stages of hell match or your last match?
my last match.
Really? I
Yeah,
could see
so like it started started with 3 stages and ended
There
with
you
3
go.
stages, you know?
God damn, bro.
Somewhere in the middle there was one too.
So I just want to jump in and also put over the fact of how much we were taking this seriously. That Josh had reached out to his cousin and got the Fuse,
Oh my.
Yeah,
quote
we're
unquote
sponsored.
sponsorship,
Yeah, dude. Come on
which he supplied us these wonderful gas station standee cardboard cutouts.
Which at the time is fucking incredible. Like
And
all
the
of this
banner
shit is
around
so
the ring.
cool.
And then
the trampoline.
Does Fuse still exist?
I have no idea.
Reach out to him, Rick.
I got
Also, he provided us actual drinks to sell.
I thought we gave them away for free.
Maybe, I don't know, but we had them in addition to those.
I basically told
Dude,
myself,
you get a free Fuse with the ticket. Come on.
yeah,
now.
that was like if we have Fuse there, like it says Fuse, and we have it for free. That's a sponsorship. That's a sponsorship.
Yeah, fair point.
I mean, if they give it to you for free, whoever it doesn't matter.
Right.
So we
And
were
then-
sponsored.
Anybody could be the unofficial sponsor of anything.
Yeah.
So
And
Fuse
then-
unofficially sponsored the show.
Obviously, this was after the 4th of July, so whoever had the idea to get fireworks and then save them for this, because this was July 31st, just to make it feel like a bigger deal, because we never really had pyro.
Right.
No.
So-
We definitely underestimated how long this was. Because it, like, is absurd. I think there's a point in the commentary where, like, you hear me going, like, and this introduction is very long.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, trying to talk over it as if, like, it matters.
The fireworks go so long that you literally miss Aaron's entrance because someone's just so focused on the fireworks. And he
That's
comes
funny.
out.
Yeah.
You'll see the camera jump real quick. He's already 80% of the way towards the trampoline.
That had to be me. Because that is something I would do. Yeah, there it goes, panning.
In a weird twist of fate, I now live in the house across the street from Josh.
Right.
Is this-
But not
is it a
that
house-
exact one.
Is
but-
it the one on camera? Like, is it on camera?
little-
No,
to the
it's to the
right?
right of
Okay.
those bushes right now, and just like super weird. That
Extremely, yeah.
because like every day, like so.
It's leaving a mark.
My current girlfriend and my ex are like, so where did you wrestle? Oh, we wrestled down Josh's. Who's that? Oh, that's that house right there.
Yeah, right, absolutely.
To be able to literally point to it to such an important time in my life. Yeah, he got really far.
Yeah, all the way there. And this is Aaron's first match, I think.
Probably.
And then fucking Joey G in the ring, dude, gives
Absolute stud.
incredible introductions and then just doesn't do it again. which
Dude's
is
like
very
a
unfortunate.
rocket science now.
I can tell. Look at him.
Such a genius.
He was a mini Michael Cole back in 2005.
Literally.
Here's the best part.
He could have done it.
Yeah.
Forever.
Here's the best part. He did not want to do that.
No,
That's
he
probably
He
why
was
he only did it
there, and
once.
we was like forced. We forced him to do it.
There's the entrance.
Oh my, fucking E.
Once again, WrestleMania, big day. So we got special entrance.
Is he foaming at the
He's
mouth?
foaming at the mouth. And also, E and Mako were in a faction together, so it made sense for Mako to be rolling him out, even though he would have wrestled in the pre-show.
I like how he gets off of this thing. It's very
This is
eloquent.
just fantastic.
This is so funny. Yeah, that looked creepy right there.
Yeah, he played the character well.
The bet-
And
so-
he's what, probably 10 years old here?
Yeah.
If we're 13 or 14.
Yeah, definitely. He's only 2 years younger than me. So
Yeah, so he's 11.
yeah.
So I reached out to him before we did this. I was talking with him a little bit, and I told him I really fucking wish that he would have wrestled for SWC more and done some of this type of stuff. And he said that Warcraft was too important at the time.
Oh, he's
So-
actually talked to Eric about this?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I saw this and I was like, Jesus, I wanted that guy. Like, where's he at? You know? So I hit him up.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, where were you? And he's like playing Warcraft.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of sad just how him and my other brother threw their lives away for World of Warcraft. And, like, I could see it happening, but they were just so, like chronically addicted to it.
Right.
that they-
It's rough. I mean, we were chronically addicted to doing this type of
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So.
Greatest thing we ever did.
So what else was going on around this time? Like, you guys were using some weapons and shit. You know, you had a casket match on this show, which is crazy.
Yeah. Mackenzie built it.
Yeah, because initially you guys wanted to use a big box, and I was like, "No, we can't use a box. It's a fucking it's a casket match." And I
Yeah.
remember that, like,
Ooh, he said fuck.
Yeah, I don't-
I've been saying fuck.
okay,
We're
well,
good.
I try not to swear,
We're all the way fucking through it. We can fuck whenever we want.
but I remember
Bussy.
like,
Butt
We
pussy.
can fuck, we can fuck pussies.
Even fattier.
We could say whatever at this point.
I guess maybe
butt pussy.
Josh or you must have got like a new fridge or something like that. So like there was a giant box.
Yeah, that's the box that you throw me onto.
okay.
Yeah.
Why didn't we just use the old fridge?
I don't know.
Can't use a
That would have worked too.
It'll get cold.
The
in
body had to fit. But I would steal pans from my mom's oven. We would do like the Faygo bottles. Everything was stored under Josh's garage, like that little door. We'd have weapons.
there. Did your mom know that you were stealing this man?
Oh yeah, she would get mad at me. She'd be like, "You took my new one." I would try and
Get
get one.
another new one. I'll
Yeah.
take that
Honestly.
too.
When we would go to the dollar store, I'd like try and get her to buy me more,
That's her
or her more.
You stop buying new ones, I will stop taking them.
Yeah, like just buy them for me to hit,
give her
and
a
then
high
you
five.
could keep one in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Also,
Covered.
The cabinet.
the sheets
cupboard.
or blankets around
Cubby.
the trampoline to hide
And
the bounce.
a
As
whatever
if
that was
people
by
didn't know what a trampoline was.
That's why that was there.
I think that was the idea, was
Love
to
it.
hide the bounce.
Well, the
visual.
fuse one's on the front of it, so I thought it was just to like create like uniformity, like
No, that was our ring skirt.
Rings have aprons, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right,
Finally.
So I just want to show a
Well,
little
yeah,
bit of
like
this.
to hide weapons
on the
and
ground. I'm not.
Since we're talking about it, we got to see this casket match.
Honestly,
Once
the
again,
Undertaker's
it's not going to
probably
lose
under
the
there right
European
now.
Look at
Championship.
Mackenzie's right leg bending weirdly. That was weird.
That is a poo-poo head laying there.
Where's the spot at? It's got to be like right around here. Yeah.
Oh my
No, his hand was there.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
incredible.
wait.
This timing is insane.
he gets in.
The hand.
Oh my gosh!
good.
Because it could have not went that
Yeah,
well.
could have, but it
was
went
there.
so incredibly well.
His
If
hand was
that
there.
casket would have closed, it would have been like the Royal Rumble moment.
Yeah, right.
What do
I
we
mean,
do?
I kind of did that in our match where I forgot to kick out in the very
goodness.
beginning.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
right,
'cause you
yeah.
hear someone go, "Oh, that's a
What is
pansy
he
kick
doing?
out," and I'm like, I guess I
Yeah,
didn't kick
sure.
out. Whatever you say.
Yeah, so this match is crazy. Of course, Death ends up winning and getting the European Championship because Death
Oh
always
my
wins.
goodness.
See, look at his leg. It
He's
looks like
crazy.
it's bending
It's-
weird.
They do like a double
Fucking
choke
weird
slam
legs.
to each other here, which is
You know,
kinda
which
crazy.
defies all logic.
Right, it doesn't make any sense, but it's cool as hell. And
It
it's
would
on
hurt
trampoline.
so
This is
much though on that
ridiculous.
steel trampoline.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
and
oh
Death
shit!
again.
up.
Look at that.
And Spike is. Oh,
What
no.
a dude. And then, of course, he already hit the first two of the 3-6s, so when he hits the third one off the trampoline, it is the end of the match.
Which I love
And
that.
it was
That's
on to the
genius.
old-
And he held up all 10 fingers.
Did he?
Yeah, so that's not 6. That's not 18.
No.
Wonder what that was all about.
Isn't the 6
That'd be
6
22.
just Dominic's
Yeah.
finisher 3 times?
Essentially, yeah. 3 rock bottoms.
Yeah, that's why it's so effective.
I remember when you were talking about me coming back to wrestling, and you were telling me about like Mackenzie wrestles, and like at some point I was like, well, what's his finishing move? For some reason, I asked that, and you said it's called the 666, and I was like, well, what's that? And I don't know if you were like messing with me or if it was a typo, but you said 6 rock bottoms, and I went, what? 6? And then you were like, then it was just only 3, as if that's any better.
My bad. I meant 3.
It's just
he's
6 rocks
shaking.
bottoms.
So we use this again then later.
Yes.
For okay, so basically JP was also in that.
Also,
and
this
it
was a
on
whim.
fire.
This was not planned.
to carry it out.
That's
out.
impressive, actually, carrying
Yeah.
out.
Look at this crowd.
Yeah, watch this.
This is huge.
There's Garrett. There's my mom. There's
Bang.
my sister. There's family friend Mark.
Boom.
There's the neighbors.
Oh,
There's
who the
Mackenzie's
fuck those
parents.
people
Leone
are?
right there.
Those people are
That's
old.
Mackenzie's brother or some
Yep.
shit. And on the other side,
And
there's more
Mackenzie's
people.
in that casket, and I'm struggling.
No,
course.
Quinn.
But
Quinn,
still,
sorry.
Yeah.
still a big man.
Right. Absolutely.
Which also did not make any sense because I was not in their faction, but Mako was, and
Look
Easy.
at
That
this
stud,
dude.
dude.
The
Come on
champ.
now.
They boo you.
Yeah, you get so upset. You're like, what are you doing?
You're a heel, but you're heel
They knew.
because
Well,
you turned heel on me by hitting the Canadian Destroyer, and then you started doing that hand sign.
Mackenzie
Nice.
must have been the one
I thought it
telling
was
the
double
story.
middle fingers for a really long time, and then I realized
That's why
it's-
we did it. It's the middle finger, the thumb, and the pinky, so we
Yeah.
could get away with it.
Dude, it's not giving the middle finger if you touch hands.
Right, definitely. For
And
sure.
you have two other fingers on
Yeah, it's a bunch. It's just a bunch of fingers. Yeah, you got the pink and the stink over there.
I remember when Josh got that United States Championship belt, that it meant he had to win it, and that made me so mad. I was like, why do you have to win it just because you bought the belt?
Dude, he was so
to be
good at
fair,
spinning that
is a
belt.
backyard wrestling rule. Like if you buy something, it gets to be yours.
He was the best at spinning it. You can't.
He was the best at a lot of things, specifically promos, which we're gonna get to pretty much as soon as this show's over with, which I can't wait for.
I appreciate that Josh has gear. Like he's got like his shorts on, he's got wristbands.
Uh-huh.
He had a custom shirt made.
Yeah, well, he's getting fucked up right now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think you get the first pinfall immediately.
Yeah, so this match is
Look at you working the crowd.
Yeah, dude, I was a stud.
This match is actually, I think, my favorite one on this show, on Out of Control. Just because of watching both of you guys and knowing what you end up being later and seeing the parts of, like, what you end up becoming throughout this match is so fucking fun for me.
Did you watch the entire, like all of these matches in their entirety?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I would wish that upon anyone.
It was amazing. No, it was very fun. It was very
How
fun.
many days did that take?
It wasn't a lot, dude. We both did it. Like, it wasn't a whole lot.
No, it wasn't too bad. It was maybe a few. It's just like it felt like everything was either 1 hour long or 2 hours long.
Yeah.
So we didn't have time limits.
JP,
No, I mean what we watched,
Yeah.
the tapes and stuff.
Yeah, in fact, I mean, Out of Control itself is only an hour long.
Correct.
Like, just beginning to end, that's all it takes to get through.
So the amount of time people spent there was probably no longer than 2 hours.
Right.
Wow, that's incredible.
We
Back
crashed
then,
it.
it felt like it was like 4 hours.
I mean, it looks like it should take longer.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it didn't.
JP, I remember when you turned heel. You turned heel on me. I like made the save, and then you hit me with a Canadian Destroyer, and then we tried to come up with a reason why you turned heel. So I wrote out a promo for you, and then you were like, I can't remember all this. So we printed it out, and we just laid it down on the trampoline, and then every now and then you would jot down at it to like look at the notes.
Fucking love to hear that. So we'll skip through a little bit of this because we're not here to just watch Out of Control. We got a lot going on, but we're gonna jump all the way to the end of the show. We're gonna see some Sean Phoenix versus Mad Dog for the ETW championship here.
I remember I did not want fireworks. I wanted streamers because I was a big Japanese wrestling fan, and that made either you or Josh mad. Like you didn't want us to do that.
I can't see myself caring, so...
Oh, we cared a lot back then.
No, about the streamers. Maybe Josh
Yeah, probably
did.
Josh,
about
yeah.
them being on the trampoline or in the yard. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. He was like, nobody else can have streamers. Why do you? I was like, because I'm not going to have fireworks. I want
Right.
streamers.
Right.
Like that seems like a fair trade-off.
I like the internal feuds that boiled
Yeah.
in ETW.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. This little sequence is probably my favorite ETW moment in my life.
Oh,
This match made you be able to lick your elbow, didn't it?
No, that was Josh breaking my arm. Not this here. This is something that I'm just... Because you kind of gently put me through that table.
So that is an ETW staple, is that as much as you guys wanted to do the hardcore shit, everybody protected everybody
Yeah.
to
We
the
were always
extreme
safe.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this right
very,
here...
very
I feel so
different
bad
than
about this.
what we
I know
ended up doing in NWW Pittsburgh not too long after. Like, almost the exact opposite.
This is my favorite spot. And
You insisted on doing this.
So I hit my head on the exposed metal bar.
Yep.
And like, so nobody knows this but me and maybe like one fan. And so I'm kind of like, all right, I definitely know this hurts. I'm going to go over here and like catch my breath. Cause like, you know, when you get like dizzy or nauseous. Right. So I'm like, all right, I'm a little messed up. I'm going to go over here.
I had no idea.
And then on the third hit, you make contact, and I'm just like, oh gosh. So I got to go down completely.
Right.
Because I'm just so out of it.
And meanwhile, I was hitting you like that because I hated that we used boxes.
Well, you know now at this point, we just talked about it. And you can see I'll protect my head there because I don't want to hit it again. And it was crazy because after that happened, the whole match is
me
like,
calling a spot. Sorry.
It's like a blur.
Oh, geez.
I'm just
That's
like,
not good.
I'm just like, I know like what we were doing. I know I was confident in it all, but like the memory of most of the stuff I can remember before that moment.
Wow.
And it was so quick. But like, I love it because we have like a picture of it. And it's just like,
it was your MySpace picture for a long time.
Yeah, that was like the biggest spot I think I would have ever been willing to take in that time frame.
Look how I remember I was selling the low blow the entire time on that bump. Yeah, then I remember you telling me that that you hit your head, and I felt like really, really bad because like I didn't want to do it to begin with.
Yeah. And
you were so insistent on it, and then I was like, oh, now I feel really bad that he got hurt, and I didn't want to do it. And like I was like worried that you would think that I did it intentionally because to show like I didn't want to do that. See, that was stupid, and you got hurt.
That would take too much effort.
Yeah.
Though I remember this, and people always told me this hurt, and I never believed them. Can you?
I remember my cell was way more exaggerated than what it was.
I was wondering if you could attest to that because that's the bat to the pan that was stolen.
Speaking of selling and stuff, while we're on that topic, like this is kind of advanced wrestling. Like you can tell that you guys weren't doing this for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like you have been doing shit. You're learning how to do the moves. You're selling things. You're trying new stuff. Like the difference between take 12 and this is even pretty big.
Wow. It looks intentional.
Intentional. Word of the entire podcast.
I remember we had, sorry to cut you off. I remember that we had, I don't know if it was for this show or not, but at some point I was like, we got to stop doing the 1, 2, 3 jump. Because this would have been the first, I saved up money to get a capture card and I captured this big show to the computer and made a music video of it. And I posted it on a message board. And I know that like either it was for this show or after the show that we were going to get some heat for that. And I was like, we got to stop doing that. So I remember that we would start the count as we were setting up the move. And then by the time, the move got set up, we were at 3 to go for that.
Yep. It was like learning chemistry, essentially.
Yeah. I remember, oh my god, this is my finish, and you took it beautifully every time except the biggest fucking show.
Yeah, I don't know why I wasn't spinning.
So
I wasn't spinning around.
It's the jorts, man.
Yeah,
it's the jorts.
And I remember so I hit it that time. I was like, oh, that was weird because like it forced my neck to the side because your legs were so tight. You had never done that before. And then I remember, I think I may be doing it here, and I was like, open your legs like the next time I do it, or I said like stay loose, and then the next time like you still didn't do it, and I was like screw this, and then I ended it with a 450. But I remember it was supposed to be the Phoenix Splash because I teased it so much, but then in practice the day of, you put your hand up or your arm up, and either way it knocked the wind out of me.
Oh, okay.
And we were doing a practice run finally where I hit it on you, and I like hit my diaphragm, and I was messed up, and I was like, well, we're not doing that there. Maybe maybe we did go for it, but I kept overshooting. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, there's 2 misses, and then you do a regular 450.
Yeah. Through all this, clearly, you guys like have ideas of stuff that you're trying to accomplish, right? So like you're planning spots and shit at this point.
Yeah.
Like okay, that's awesome then. So something like that wasn't necessarily going on during take 12, right?
Probably not, because this would have been probably the first. This was definitely the first time we had a crowd, and I remember we would go over, like we went over opening sequences. Dom, I want to say you came up with our opening to our match, like the back and forth, and we would rehearse that.
Yeah.
Probably because we knew that we had fans. But as far as like the implosions, we probably didn't take it too seriously. It's probably just like do whatever we wanted to do.
Yeah. There was a lot of ideas, and we did them, but like while we were doing them, it was a lot of just us having fun and being stupid.
hot dog signs
So,
again. This
as
is
we
the
already
end.
spoiled, there's some 450s. There's some empty Fago bottle attacks.
This is the finish right here.
Yep. Perfectly timed.
Hands still up.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 with the belt. The fans cheer their babyface hero, Sean Phoenix.
Which is funny because they had no real reason to like me or any of the baby faces other than the write-up we gave them.
Yeah, that was good write-up.
That was a good
we
idea, whoever that
we
was.
had Mackenzie deliver it.
I mean, we had that for each match.
Yeah.
Like as WWE does like a recap of like the feud.
Right.
So we couldn't do that, so we had the write-up, and that it must have been either yours or Josh's idea.
Look at that reaction, dude. The boyhood dream.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was. I remember it was so hot. It was sitting out in the sun. I was like, "Shit, this burns so bad."
The literal boyhood dream. Look at that.
Dang.
And seeing that clip whenever I was watching this for the first time instantly gave me a flashback to the Best of Sean Phoenix music video that Lee Andrews made for you when he thought you were rolling in 07.
Yep.
And I had never seen anything from any of that shit before until I saw that clip, and I'm like, God damn. Like, there it is.
Full circle.
There she was.
2005.
Yeah.
I remember,
right.
the streamers getting
The
caught
streamers.
on my foot really pissed me off. I was like, damn it, this is so stupid. Because I
there
took this
is
way
the
more
defeated Mad Dog.
seriously than anybody else did, because I knew that I'd be posting it and I knew it's what I wanted to do. So I would get like really like particular about the way that like things were perceived, and like
I feel you. That
having
makes a lot
that
of sense.
dragging on my foot at the end of my moment. I was like, this is so bad. And then
Yeah.
I remember like rushing home whenever it was time to leave and like hopping in the shower because I was so goddamn hot because wrestling in that long black sleeve shirt.
So the belt that you won that day is that belt right there. It's still sitting there. We're not going to move it just because it's nicely shelved, you know. A lot of hard work went into that. But shortly after you won that belt, you decided to change it up, right?
Let's actually tell the story about how that belt came to be, Dom. I know that was a big moment in your life. Do you remember how you got that?
Oh, I do remember how I got
Yeah,
that.
tell
Okay,
us.
fuck yeah, roll it.
So I know that I wanted it prior to this moment happening, but I wanted a real replica belt, and I was actually very cool with getting. You can tell because like that one's huge.
Right.
I wanted like the kid size one because we were kids. Well, I was very afraid of heights, and we were at EKC.
I'm not coughing.
Yeah, and they had a ladder that you could climb where each rung would get further and further apart till when you got to the top, you would have to fully stand up, put your arms above your head, and slightly jump. to
Right.
reach
It was
the next
also
one.
like only like attached by like a
Yeah.
chain, and it was like a wood plank for each step.
Yeah,
it was
just
not
like
a
a-
traditional ladder.
No, wood
Yeah.
plank, wobbly, and I had no intentions of doing this at
Right.
all.
I wouldn't either. I would
Yeah.
definitely be out on this shit, dude. I'd
then
be
my-
over there smoking my baby blunt.
Right. Well, that's funny too. That reminds me of something else, but not on topic. Anyways, yeah. So I'm like, nah, and my mom's like, do it, and I'm like, nah. And then she's like, I'll get you that belt you want, and I'm like, seems you drive a hard wager there, Mom. So I decided I'm doing it, and I guess either in my head or it was just the conversation was out there. Like my mom just was speaking loud enough that everyone heard this. So it felt like everyone was rooting for me.
Right.
And I was very scared. So I get, I finally get to the top. I'm up there and I'm like, I'm so relieved. But really in my head, I'm like, I got the fucking belt.
Yeah, so you were literally in a ladder match, climbing to
Yeah.
get the belt at the top of the ladder.
I think there was a bell at the top
There was,
too,
yeah.
the ring, because like it was like we went at the end of the school year, and then like our teacher set it up, and each day had different activities. Some of them were like physical challenges, so to speak, and that was one of them. I remember, and I remember somebody got a picture of you. Like someone was there taking pictures.
I have a whole photo album from that day.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to share
I could
some of
show
those.
it to you.
Well, I remember I got that picture of you grabbing the belt, and I say Photoshop, but I used Microsoft Paint, and I put the belt, like you were like grabbing it over,
Hell
like put the
yeah.
belt on the picture. It's like, look, man, you were really grabbing this.
Dude, she wasn't kidding either. We got home, we ordered it. It took a while, but it comes in those like cases that you got to unzip it and take it out.
Yeah.
There's some diamonds missing on it. It's weathered now, but man,
Absolutely.
when we got it, it was like the coolest thing ever. It was a level up moment for sure.
Absolutely.
for ETW.
Fucking incredible.
And this made its way beyond ETW, like beyond HWC, right?
Yeah.
Didn't it get used at the base?
It did.
I thought so.
It did.
So that actually did then.
Yeah.
So I saw a belt that looked okay. So we'll talk about that later. we got a lot of episodes to go, and we're already running time here. But so eventually, that belt you turned into this belt, correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
I
let's take a
had.
look at this thing.
I don't know what the decision was, why we were doing that, but I remember.
This actual belt.
Yep, it's that one.
Okay, fuck yeah.
I just got my first summer job, and the big. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. That was like $50, and I got it from like a friend of a friend, and I had put ETW over it. That's still there to this day. And I think either you or Josh said, "Well, let's use that instead,"
Yeah.
which is a shame because it's not as good quality as the World Heavyweight one. I think that's like a.
You know what, though? It's fitting.
Uh-huh.
It looks like a hardcore wrestler.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially whenever you see it on tape here that we're about to play, which just so happens to be my favorite chunk of media that came out of any of these tapes. I fucking love this promo coming up here. And you're wearing this belt on your shoulder in this promo, so I guess sometime between Out of Control, did you do like a storyline or something, or did you just switch the belt out?
Probably just switched it out. I don't remember off the top of my head. It probably was just a whim thing to do it. The only thing I could think of that what we may have done back then was have like Dom be like, "No, you didn't beat me," blah,
Look
and
how
like
good it looks.
Yeah.
a sore loser. And
This
then,
is-
Yo!
Top 8. They said Ash joined the dick fish.
Yeah, she did. I got into her for some in your head now.
Can I join? Put yourself in my shoes.
It doesn't matter. You cannot join. If you join, you're fired. An ETW talent joins fired. No questions asked.
Is that your rule, Mad Dog?
That's both of our rules, buddy.
Josh fucking Todd.
Let me talk to
Yes.
Mad Dog. You got yourself done?
Yeah.
Hit him up. I need that as my text message ringtone.
So this is hilarious because
Look at him.
Whoa, dude, calm down. Yeah. it's
I'm
fake.
not on the phone, by the way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This is a fake phone call, right?
Well, in case you don't know, because you're.
That belt looks great, though. It looks fantastic.
Leg injury.
I think it's the right move.
Ash joined a dictatorship.
so at this point, we were
She
turning
was
the
kidnapped.
we were turning the dictatorship heel,
Uh-huh.
and we knew we were planning a ETW versus dictatorship show, and
Josh.
You can't join.
You wrestling anyone today?
Wrestling.
I don't know.
Wrestling.
Yes. Great, fantastic fucking promo right
Dude,
there.
Josh is the man.
Oh.
I remember essentially we needed enough people on both teams for the show, and at that point I was dating a girl named Ashley, and she kind of liked wrestling. It's actually really weird that I remember it was her birthday one day, and she knew I think she liked me, and she had a pool party,
Yeah.
and she brought a TV out of her house to put SmackDown on to kind of entice me to come.
Hell yeah.
I was like, that's kind of weird, but
That's
all
a
right.
great effort,
Fuck
man.
Yeah, I know, right? Because
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then she just rolled on you and went and joined the dictatorship.
Yeah,
Shit
yeah,
they got
right.
in
With
her
a
head.
Jezebel.
Yeah,
Shady.
which is crazy. She got kidnapped, and then I guess they just convinced her.
Right, you should stick around.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
so
yeah,
this
because I think the idea was Death was using supernatural powers and stuff and brainwashing them.
Right.
But before we play this, I just want to say that these types of promos were we didn't try this twice.
Right.
Whatever you see is the first and only time we filmed this. So the fact that what we're about to see goes down this way is incredible. So what you're going to watch is I come in, Steve is going through a mental breakdown and playing himself in Battleship.
Right.
He refers to me as Wild Thing, which is a wrestler who is not on our roster. And then we decide to steal Death's chain, and it's fantastic.
Miss. Dang it. What? Hey. Hey, fuck. Hey. Shh. What are you doing? Winning. So you have to be quiet. Wild thing. What if he catches you?
Wild thing. What if he catches you?
You need help, dude. I'll be right back. Stay here.
Don's like,
Stop.
stop being weird. we're gonna go steal this fucking chain. You're being weird right now. What would be not weird is if we walked into the laundry room,
Yeah.
moved the European title out of the way, and
To
stole
show
this.
that that was his chain.
This is
Yeah, of course.
backstage. Now his chain gave him powers, but this is right here. This is pure cinema.
Got it. I got hit. I'm winning.
Oh, look at that! His hand!
Holy shit.
He knew!
You don't play with death. Huge
Whoa,
mistake.
hold on, listen to
Genius.
this.
Death. That's not in a good mood today. See, someone last week went into my locker room,
His locker room.
Look like that.
my chain. So, I can guarantee you that it was a member of Team ETW.
The whole gimmick is just that
And I just
goblin
want to
voice.
tell all
Yeah.
the members of the dictatorship, if you see an ETW member, kill him.
Kill him. Just kill him. That is absolutely.
Were you
cool.
boys with Death? Was that your homie?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I mean, I just knew him from living next to Dominic.
He was in the dictatorship.
Yeah,
So,
JP
so
joined
yeah,
the
you
dictatorship.
joined the dictatorship.
Oh,
You were
you
down.
mean like gimmick-wise?
No, anything, but yeah,
I
also
honestly-
all the shit. That's
So,
what we're here for. you know?
Another thing I'd like to point out is you see I'm in a sling there. So when I was on vacation, I had a fake injury, right?
Yeah.
And then I came back, and I broke my arm playing football
Up at the field.
Up the field.
That's how you can lick your elbow.
Yeah, so we were like, all right, here's the storyline now. The dictatorship finds out that I faked my injury to go on vacation. So they give me a real injury. So like now I am like actually injured, but I still want to be a part of the show. So like I'm just kind of navigating
Right.
the Sean Phoenix who's losing his mind at the moment.
I remember being a little bit conflicted with that storyline because you and I had just feuded for legitimately, that video of my return started in March of
Right,
2005
exactly, right.
and the payoff was in July of 2005. And the thought of a feud lasting that long on a trampoline for 14-year-olds, I thought was a big deal.
Right,
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah,
And,
no doubt.
And then you cut my hair and all this stuff. Like, there was blood in the water. And then we were trying to do a heel, company takeover versus, the loyalists. And you were one of the owners, so you shouldn't turn your back on the company. But I, was the champion. So it was like, how do we do this without squashing what we just did for those months?
It was cool though because since you were going through a storyline that was like kind of deteriorating,
Right.
I had to parent you, and I used my heel like annoyance as
Right.
all right, well, you're not a threat to me, so just come here.
Right,
and
right.
we'll figure this out.
Which I think that idea, like I just wanted to do something silly, and then the idea was, like, why am I a Phoenix? And then like I wanted to kind of show like a change of some capacity,
Yeah.
more than just coming back under a new name. So that's what that was all about. But I don't really know that really necessarily coincided with the idea of the storyline that we were
I'll
doing.
always say this: it was always the idea that was amazing, never the execution.
The execution was fan-fucking-tastic. Like, none of this is wrong at all. Like,
Yeah,
this is
it's-
all incredible.
For how
and
young we were,
enjoyable
this is
shit.
it's just incredible to know that we organized it.
Right.
I guess.
Like, you guys were trying to be WWE.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and
as
I
close
don't
as you can
remember
to that
having
as
an
possible.
end game. We
Right.
just got older, which I can't talk about yet. So
Right, absolutely. So, like, that was in the middle of the dictatorship versus ETW.
At this point, we would
rivalry.
have been freshman year, and I remember we even got T-shirts made for the show.
Yes.
Team ETW and Dictatorship.
Do you have the rosters?
Yeah, so I do, but I'm going to need you to make me one of those dictatorship shirts on your fancy shirt press.
You got it.
They're
Fuck yeah.
sick.
Which I know I just made with Microsoft Paint, and then my family friend Mark knew a T-shirt company, and he got them made for us.
Dang.
But like I didn't, like they were just literally just made with Microsoft Paint. Like I remember the
I loved
logo.
them. I wish I still had my Team
Yeah,
ETW
right?
shirt.
The dictatorship, we already talked about how Ash was brainwashed by Death to join the dictatorship.
Yes.
At the time, E was also in the dictatorship.
Yes.
You were, do you remember this time at all? You being in the dictatorship?
Yes.
Yes, you do. Great answer. Love the fucking word. Did anything at all? Any memories? Any fun things that might have happened?
I remember my T-shirt.
You remember your T-shirt? Okay,
I remember
that's
you
cool.
wore it to high school
Yeah.
once, and something like somebody saw it because like it had like the roster on the back, and I couldn't tell you what the dude's name was, but you told me like I guess you had a hoodie on and you took it off, and this dude was like, "Oh, that's hard," and I was like, "Yes, that's cool. I think
We
the
did it.
T-shirt's cool."
Our merchandise will sell.
There was like a promo on one of these videos of you going to meet up with Death, and then you go beat up like, what is it, Josh in somebody's basement or something like that. But it was just like, we have so much shit to show that it was just another thing. And
Yeah.
you got your shine coming up here soon. So Dictatorship, as well as JP, also Mako,
Yep.
and the Punisher. Mm-hmm. The Punisher was a fucking gangster.
Yes, the Punisher potentially lost one match ever.
Yeah,
And that's all I know.
right. Team ETW was very small. It was simply, at first, Little J, Sean Phoenix, and Nick. And then Spike joined, and Dominic came back from vacation, and it was pretty
I
much
tried to
implied.
join.
Yeah.
But I couldn't because of my arm.
I feel like Dominic was always a heel. Why was he on Team ETW?
Because we wanted
Ownership.
because
Yeah.
with dictatorship,
The storyline for the Dictatorship versus Team ETW was whoever won owned the company.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know who won, but I'm assuming
It was ETW.
It was yeah, okay. So that
which
that
would have
makes
been
sense.
really sick if we had the dictatorship do it. That would have been nice.
We should have, and then that could have been cut the tapes, end of story.
And unfortunately, we don't know who won here. Because that's where the tapes end. ETW tape 24 is like half
Yeah.
a tape, like 10 minutes. And it does get into some type of recap from Battle for Leadership, I guess was the name
That's
of the show.
what it was called. Yes.
And so we're guessing ETW won, maybe tied or something along those lines.
I remember it was like a swerve that like turns out that somebody was like actually representing ETW because Punisher Ronnie didn't show up to that.
Okay,
and we had
yeah.
to fill in for that, and neither did Ashley
Oh,
because at that point Ashley and I weren't dating anymore.
Oh,
no, maybe no.
Well,
I don't know.
Personal gets in the way of business, man.
yeah,
Every time.
the show must go
You
on.
gotta be the champ. You're just stunting. As soon as you get around the belt, you just wear it.
Dude,
It
I don't
becomes part of you.
think I ever won this belt.
No, of course you
No.
didn't.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think I ever won that belt either. From the assholes.
Time will tell.
Yeah. Right.
Oh. Oh.
So the tapes end there. Why did the tapes end there?
Because at that point, I want to say it was me taking over, and then we were there was that, and then Dom wanted the VHS tapes, and we had like a little fallout because of that. And then because I was so hyper focused on recording it and then making a music video and posting it on the internet, then I'm like, well, this. In hindsight, obviously, yeah, I was like, no one's even watching these. No, we don't care. I don't care about these tapes. I cared about in the moment. Obviously, now it'd be nice to have, but
Right.
back then I was like, we don't have a TV show. Why are we doing this? Like, let's do this for the now.
Right.
But then that caused a rift.
Yeah, so I had always, you can see them there. You'll see ETW tape 12, and then there's 22, 23, 24, and then there's HWC, right? So at the end of tape 24 is like the build up to, what was it called? A Battle for Leadership?
Yeah, right.
And then it did happen, and it did get filmed, but it never got put on. So basically, like, my mom was like shelling out the money for those tapes. I
Right.
just don't necessarily remember, but I would assume it would have been at like the dollar store.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, man, like I need more. And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, all right, well, if we're sharing all these things, like maybe I can get people to pitch in and stuff. And then that's where that happened.
Yeah, I didn't have a job, so I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to pay for these.
But like, no, Josh wasn't gonna do it either.
Yeah.
Like, he was not on board for this. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm kind of stuck here because like I need to get these to transfer them because this is how like I know how to
Right.
do like video. So, like, a Battle for Leadership happens,
Right.
and some other stuff potentially happens, but after that, I'm just like, well, I am just gonna quit and take my business elsewhere and continue doing this somewhere else because
Right.
this is the way I know how to do it.
Right.
And then that's what I did.
So in the meantime, you were like, we'll talk more about the message board type stuff later, but at the time, like, you were flying on that hill, like you were trying
to me, because that's what mattered to me, because I was posting these music videos and then getting critique and feedback, and then actually learning, getting advice on, hey, you guys have been tying up the wrong way this entire time, do this with your left arm, do your arm drags with your left arm. Like, that meant more to me than anything. And then I actually had the same type of camera as Dom, and I would just record it and then put it on the computer and then do that. Then I would just reuse the tape. So I think at the time, I didn't quite understand why when you were asking for the tapes, I think my initial thought was, well, why don't you just reuse the tape? Like, why you just record over it?
Like the camera.
I think that was my initial thought.
Yeah,
but
well,
then,
it wasn't. I mean, like I said, it wasn't just you. It was you and Josh
Right.
specifically were who I was asking. So I think that when I got a no from both, I was like, I mean, I'm still gonna do it.
Right. And that wasn't because like I was like, oh, Dom, you're a son of a bitch, or screw you, your idea is terrible. It's like I didn't know how I can't do this. I'm a 14-year-old kid. I don't have a job.
It's funny to think that we couldn't have done both. Like, in hindsight,
right?
We could have put them on the internet and continued this, but like, regardless, like, it's so interesting that like there is a little bit more history of ETW. It's just not there.
It's not on VHS,
but like,
right.
So like HWC, when it becomes a thing, like, is existing at the same time that ETW is still existing,
right?
Which is a really unique thing.
And then this is where you guys were running, like, getting closer to getting the base, like running more independent style shows and stuff. That's what Josh was telling me about.
Yes, and it's funny because I remember thinking that, like, the idea of Dom starting a whole new company was really dumb because we were so we were struggling to get wrestlers as it was. I was like, well, we don't have a lot of wrestlers to begin with. Who are you going to get? Like, how is that going to work?
That is how you strong arm people.
Yeah, right.
It's you quit, create, so you're like, okay, I'm going to also do this, but I'm going to take away your assets, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things was, well, I need a trampoline.
Yeah.
JP. What do I do? Okay, JP, you have one. How about we do this together, and I'll strap you up in a month. And you'll have the belt, right? It was like
I'll give you the belt.
It was simple to me how to do this. So I just felt like it was like, for me, like, dude, like, I'm 32. I'm about to be 33. But like, in this time frame, dude, I was like just ready to just win. Like, that was my mindset. I was like, F y'all, I'm out.
Right.
ETW can suck my balls. I'm going to HWC, and we're going to do the same thing.
Right.
And I felt very vindicated.
Right.
And I can't lie, I still do. But it was perfect because they still went together. Like, we still did HWC versus ETW. So like, the last little things of ETW, like the way that it faded out, it still all happened together.
Yeah, like we did reunite. I don't know what that turning point was, but that was
So there was, like, what it looks like was the battle for leadership happened like near the end of 05.
That would have been in November.
Yeah, so very end of 05, right? And then there's another Royal Rumble show.
Yes, for some reason, and I remember being like really like, oh my god, how are we going to do this storyline? Because we didn't, like, we were in the middle of the dictatorship versus ETW, and we had just lost Dom to a vacation, then to an arm injury, and now this. It's like, shit, like, what do we do? So there was like panic there, like, and my thought was, how do we do this storyline wise? Like, what do we do? And I remember we were filming a show, and then a match was happening, and we decided that somebody would come running. I think Josh would come running down and interrupt the match, and I wanted it to feel really real, because at this point then I was starting to get more creative input with the storylines and stuff like that with Josh. And the idea was Josh came running down, and he was on a cell phone, and he's like, I don't know what to do, yada, yada, yada. And then he was like I don't know if he whispered it to me, but he's like, essentially the idea was he was telling me that he had just got a phone call from you and you quit. And then we went into panic mode, and then the match just didn't end. And then the episode ended. And then it was like, okay, well, then the next episode we'll talk about what was I told, and then it was kind of like rebuilding from there. What do? We just lost one of our teammates. Then we did Rise to Honor, which was a tournament show for some reason. I don't remember what it was for, but I remember that would have been in like March. And the two big things I remember about that happened that were important was JP went to HWC, but JP, you wrestled me on that show. And that was like, oh, wow, we got an HWC guy. Like, even though, like, we all still went to the same school.
Right, yeah.
We were all in Allardyce, but like, oh, wow, like, this might be something big. Like, maybe we can get back together. And it was a tournament. And then the idea was, I don't remember what it was for. Maybe it was for number one contendership. And because we didn't want to do another Royal Rumble because we just did one. So let's do a tournament. And it came down to me and Mako, and I won. And then Death was the champion. He's like, no, I'm not wrestling you. Whatever, I just beat you. I'm wrestling Mako. And then I turned heel on Josh. So those are the two big things that happened that show. We got an HWC guy, and now I turned heel, and I was now feuding with Josh.
And right around whenever that kind of stuff was going on, I guess you guys were like probably out of control too, was like a thought in there somewhere,
yes,
right?
We knew that the summer was coming up, so that's where we wanted to go with that, was Out of Control 2. I mean, it only seemed, right,
Right, absolutely, because Out of Control 1 was an incredible success. This time, as Dominic already alluded to and we talked about a little bit, he started the Hardcore Wrestling Corporation. So the thing about this is I was initially going to play this opening promo, but this podcast has gone long as fuck, and honestly, it's just Dominic saying, what up, guys, I'm Mad Dog. I get the fucking belt. Like, I run this shit, right? Even though it's at your house, Dominic's like, it doesn't matter that it's at whoever's house, it doesn't matter, I'm Mad Dog. I get the fucking belt, right? So then JP comes out, and he's just like, I don't think that's fair. Basically, that's pretty much it, right? Dominic's like, I don't give a shit.
Figure right now.
And we get to it.
We start.
So
we got a
that's
champion.
just the first episode.
And just for some context on that, I come out and I'm gonna self-appoint myself, and he's like, no, you can't. And then I then announce Tony Baloney, who changes the Young Mafia like the next show, and I'm like, okay, well, you two will wrestle each other, and the winner of your match will fight me, and then you beat him, and then he cheats the following week to help me win the belt, which sets up our big storyline.
So that was just episode 1. Episode 2, we already have some crossing the lines here.
Let's talk.
Wow.
Hardcore Wrestling Corporation.
I don't think I knew that.
Where did we get you?
I just kind of stumbled in. Alright. So I do have a question for you here, Mad Dog. How does it feel to be the first HWC champion?
You were really messed up, man.
Josh.
I'm sorry,
He's the best.
He's so good.
But you know what? It feels great because, the HWC, man.
He's cracking you the whole time.
He's there to contend with. Jay Pizzle.
There's the belt right there.
Come on, he does nothing. He's a loser. I mean, he just beat that one guy, a big deal. So did I. Come on, I am the greatest guy here. There's no one better than me. I mean,
except for maybe Big
you had
Pun.
to have expected this right away.
True.
I mean, honestly, there's no point in this.
Well, what do we have here?
I agree with you, Mad Dog. I thought you was going to come in here and get the title, but I don't want a title shot. I just want to match against you right now.
A couple fun facts, Punisher never lost a match
Ever.
in HWC, and a wrestler named Bakura never won a match.
So yeah, let's get out of this because we saw this earlier here.
I genuinely don't think I knew that Josh was involved, and I feel like that he would have been like, I can't tell Steve about this.
I don't know. You were there like the next day. Though.
Yeah, right. Because
Was I?
you show up on commentary really quick.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And then
Maybe just my memory is just that bad.
we get to the big blow-off match here between Mad Dog and Jay Pizzle.
I also love the fact, Dom, that you're doing essentially the same exact character and same exact storyline with JP as you did with me.
Oh yeah.
So I was talking
I'm just
with him.
fully pubertied.
Right.
Now.
I was talking with him about this. Whenever he showed up to SWC, he was still continuing the same storyline and the same character, doing it the exact same way whenever he showed up. He was like, everybody knows who I am. I came to get the championship. I'm fucking Mad Dog, and this ain't the champ. Like, he just runs
Continuity.
This was nice. This was our first pay-per-view. We did have a PowerPoint for it. And I think that a few of your family members and a few friends were watching this.
Gentlemen, here we go. 3 stages of hell.
JP, how'd your parents feel about you guys wrestling in your front yard?
Dude, my parents let us do whatever we wanted.
They didn't care.
Parents were always
My parents, yeah, they didn't have a care in the world.
I mean, they pretty much gave you that white Dodge anytime we wanted to travel to supershows.
Yeah.
So that was like a big means of transportation. That and the Schneider van. And we'll get into both those vehicles later.
I'm not quite sure what that was.
But
do you remember this match?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What do you know about this?
I don't remember any of this. I remember wrestling on my trampoline.
Right.
But
you didn't remember it being a different thing?
No.
You thought this was just an ETW on your trampoline?
Essentially.
I mean, pretty much it's what it is. I mean, other than the storyline.
I mean, very fair.
I feel like Dominic came to me and was like, hey, you got a trampoline? And I'm like, fuck yeah, why would I not want to walk out my front door and wrestle? Go up the street and wrestle.
Right.
First is pin. Second is submission.
Oh yeah, I'm explaining the rules
Throw
again.
your opponent over
Do you remember how you got a
Three
rematch?
stages of hell match, by the way.
You got a rematch because you had another match with Young Mafia, and I was the special guest ref, but I was incapacitated, and you woke me up like, count, and I'm like facing the wrong way, and I'm like, 1, 2, 3, and you won, and that's how you got your rematch. So you tricked me.
None of this happened. You know, there's a very telling explanation for why JP doesn't remember any of this, and we'll talk about that later on the Backyardi'Yinz Backyard Wrestling Podcast.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I did a little screen clippy there. I'm probably going to jump forward a little further too. But one of the things that I wanted to point out is that at this stage, it is very fucking clear that not only are you guys physically outgrowing the trampoline, but in terms of like what you're doing and how much better the actual wrestling is from Tape 12 and Out of Control and HWC Tape 2, you guys are looking better. Like you're getting good. You're learning the shit. Like I understand why you were going the direction of maybe trying to come up with the base or whatever and trying to get more notoriety online.
Well,
like you were evolving.
Yes, you know? And one of the things that I just noticed was Dom just did a left-sided suplex.
Right.
So we were learning,
right?
And I wanted to do this the right way. I know we had talked about this before, off camera, and I'll kind of shine a light on that again. I knew that I wanted to be a professional wrestler, and I wanted backyard wrestling to be practice. I wanted to get comfortable with my body, come into the habits, so to speak, and not fall into bad habits.
I gotta remember this.
And maybe I didn't really know how to convey that as a kid. Oh, jeez. Yeah, just whip it out.
Rough.
You had a red mark on your back after that.
I believe it.
He still does.
I'm really, honest to God, this whole time I've been trying to figure out how it's so nice out, but there's a Christmas tree in the window.
I think your parents just always left up the Christmas tree at one point.
Yeah, they celebrated Christmas.
I mean, there's a full-grown Christmas tree inside that.
Yeah, we had a date for this. It's like early May or maybe late.
There's
April.
No way she had a Christmas tree up that long.
I'm telling you, this is either early May or late.
Is that not a Christmas tree, man?
It looks like it. I mean, you would know. If
JP, you had a pet monkey.
Yeah.
Why is a Christmas tree up for 3 months, 4 months out of the question?
You're right.
So, like, while you wanted to evolve and go into the internet era and do that type of shit, right? Dominic was like, this is my fucking baby. I'm doing this while I can do this because this is what I'm doing. So
yeah, I did not care about left arm, right arm. I didn't want to be a professional wrestler. I just thought it was fun. So as soon as it became aware of itself, I didn't really like it.
I feel you. Yeah.
So it was tough. It was
it was two completely different mindsets, and that's why the split happened. Is because you were trying to be more backyard wrestling Link-esque,
right?
And Dominic wanted to be WWE on a fucking trampoline,
right? He wanted
both of those things are completely acceptable.
Absolutely,
right? It couldn't be more fun to do either thing. Like
you're gonna tap out here. I'm sure of it.
I think the best way to kind of convey the different mindsets was Dom wanted to be a cosplay wrestler, where I wanted to be a creative wrestler.
Yeah.
In the sense of like Dom, you wanted to do You wanted to play wrestle. Once again, like you said, Rick, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know, like you just wanted to go out there and wrestle and have fun. Where I was trying to grow.
Yeah, I had no professional intentions.
Right.
And your creative partner in ETW and was still going on, Josh Todd, also had the same mindset as you.
Yeah,
Right.
it makes sense why me and JP are here.
Right.
They're over there.
Exactly.
It makes perfect sense.
Right. So, and not only does it make sense, it's fucking great because you guys are running this shit. You're doing the fucking, let's finally crown the champ and make him the champ, you know?
Yeah.
3 stages of hell match number 2. Mad Dog always loses at the big moment, but he gets the belt back again and he loses it all the time.
That was my thing, man. Like, I knew that I could keep myself with a belt all the time as long as I gave it to someone during the payoff.
Right.
So it was like, hey, if you want to have a belt, there's ways to go about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Right,
So it's
exactly.
So now the score is now.
So JP does a little taparella there, and we're going to jump on forward to the end of this match, which just so happens to be a put your opponent over the net match.
Jeez.
Yeah, which is hilarious because, I mean, JP needs to win this match, but he's also the one that knows how to do that. And I really didn't know how to get out, as you can see.
Because also, we, like, once again, we didn't have jobs. You know, like, this, I didn't know that Josh bought the trampoline, but if something happened to it, he didn't have the income to repair it, you know?
Yeah, right.
So, whoa!
Yes, he's a beast. Here it is.
Can you believe it? But no. But
No,
no.
The drama. There we go.
Yes.
So now,
Your new HWC World Champion.
this is what I do for people who ride for me. I strap them up. First pay-per-view and the last, surprisingly.
Dude, best decision of my life.
Yeah.
Yes. You got to win the strap in your own front yard with your family watching.
Yep. Your mom, your dad was out there. Your
We
brother
also
was there.
spied like a little maybe JP Honey side piece at the time, you know? Like we saw a little something hanging out.
There's me.
Who would you have been dating at that
Losing.
time?
Would have had to have been Haley.
Haley. It was Haley, yeah.
Freshman year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, would have been sophomore year.
That's what I thought. This would have been freshman year.
JP was having
we,
hand jobs.
We started dating.
JP was getting the
We
old-
started dating in between the school years.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because I remember the Mary Ellen incident.
Yeah.
What?
But
Mad Dog is very unhappy right
I'm
now.
not
Like,
happy.
look at that fucking Mad Dog right there.
MADOG.
Mad Og.
Mad Dog.
Mad OG.
I just, first of all, so like through watching all this and up until this point right here, Mad Dog was my favorite character. He came out wearing ICP shirts,
Right.
jumping to the oddities, always strapped up, beating the shit out of people. Don't trust anybody. Don't trust Mad Dog. He's gonna win. I fucking love Mad Dog the character. No doubt about
And
it.
that was really the end of him there at that moment. I mean, there was a little bit left of HWC, which this is beautiful.
Right. So we're gonna go
What's
right
happening
into
here?
Agent.
So Spike's a part of HWC because he's there, right?
Right.
But I am clearly not happy with the guy.
Or something.
What's he wearing?
What is that?
What is that?
Team
You
ETW.
slut.
So-
Which
like doing
is
with
so
that shirt?
funny because he was not on
HWC.
Team ETW for that show. He would have been on the Dictatorship.
No, yeah, we just had to put a shirt on.
Yeah,
I
to
guess.
show.
I saw the show
It
last
looks like
week.
it was too small for him.
So I'm like super insecure here.
I
I'm
saw
like,
you
you were
wrestling.
probably
You told
just
me
there
you
wrestling
quit
with them
live.
yesterday. Like I'm upset, right? Like,
You were probably just there doing something with
see,
them.
not happy.
I mean,
How did you know he had
come
that
on,
shirt
we
on?
had a deal, and now
I just knew things.
Well, I mean, you
Now
can
we have
kind of
to
see
do
a red
something.
collar.
you
Yeah.
are gonna tell me the date of the next show.
So this now starts
You
a
don't know the date of the next show?
an invasion.
The angle.
Now we invade you guys, and I don't know
Come
where
on,
the
what do you
footage is.
think it's gonna be?
Wink,
That- I don't think
because
I
I
have
have videotapes that were transitioned to digital footage for this moment. You don't. All right.
Well, hold on.
Anyways.
To be fair, hold on. Back up. Had I not had my external hard drive
That's
crash,
fair.
At the worst time, like
I
right
know.
before we just
I know.
Wasn't it like last week?
Dude, hold on real quick. Is that Travis on the
I'm
bike?
not going to.
I think
You
so.
know what?
Because he definitely was
That's pretty much
like
it.
at the house
Yeah.
for a
Dude,
few of the
R.I.P.
shows.
That's crazy.
I have
Fuck
footage
yeah, bro.
of Travis on my camera You guys are up the slag dumps. I'm not there. Josh has it, and you're there. You're riding a dirt bike. You're there, and Travis is riding a dirt bike too. And
Yeah, I remember
that. You can see his face. I can show you the footage.
I remember
It's
that
cool.
day.
So before we go on to this, the whole Spike situation that just happened there.
Yes.
For at least one episode, he was officially Team HWC, right?
Yes.
So for like one day, he was officially on the HWC roster. This makes him the only one out of all of us that has wrestled in ETW, HWC, SCAW, NWW Pittsburgh, NW2, and Suicidal Wrestling Clash.
Wow.
He hit every single one of them. And yet...
Because the dude's not loyal!
But see, that's the crazy part, is that he was always an in-and-out guy.
He didn't care.
Right. So he hit every stop along the way, but he would like... I'm here for a show. I'm gone for 3 weeks.
Right.
Here's my comeback idea I'm going to do.
Bro
I'm here
came
for
back
2
more
weeks.
than Chris Jericho.
So many more times
Yeah.
more than Christian. But he like he is the bridge. He's the reason that this room is happening right now is because
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Quinn.
you're right.
And
100%
and
right.
only Quinn. Like Quinn is the only reason this is going on right now.
We'll talk
What a
about
guy,
that in another episode.
Literally, right?
Big
yeah.
Spike.
And the crazy thing about that is that it could have been anybody. Like JP could have maybe wrestled in NWW Pittsburgh time. I kind of knew him a little bit. Like maybe I could have hit him up in 2008.
Right.
Like, hey, all those dudes are training and doing the shit. You want to come through, whatever.
Right.
Quinn could have maybe hit up Dominic and been like,
Right.
hey, you want to come through with us? But like for whatever reason, Quinn was always there, just never really
Never
was in
committed.
it. Like,
yeah.
Right.
Maybe because we never put a lot of belts on him.
He got belts, dude.
No, he
got
just
belts?
didn't care.
Yeah, right. I think he cared.
Well, back
find out.
then, back then it was also really hard to like. I could tell that not a lot of people cared. Like it was always like we'd ask Mackenzie, be like, "Hey, are you free this day for ETW?" And then he
Right.
would give us the answer like, "I'll see if I have anything that day," which eventually started to mean I'll do it if I can't find anything else to do. You know, like. And Quinn would do that every now and then.
While I was,
Dude, Wishbone was still alive.
Wow.
yeah, he or
R.I.P.
he or she
She.
would sit right in that area.
What a
Yeah,
good
that's where
dog.
she's buried.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But like me, right, asking Spike like, "Where have you been? Where have you been?"
Right.
You know, so I'm like, I want to invade. So we don't have footage of me invading, but like this, like the next show, you will now see ETW members come into HWC as part of the storyline.
Right.
So they'll come in and attack us, and that's what starts ETW versus HWC, which was advertised.
It was
Wow.
advertised.
Coming soon.
Oh, that's
Wow.
sick. Get that in frame. Yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Matches are listed on there. Great.
Dude, quality shit.
You can bid on the one copy of the Best of Mad Dog ETW DVD.
10,000, starting at 10,000.
Starting at $10,000, not yen.
We're
going to have it up for like 13 minutes following the recording of this episode.
Love that.
So
Love that.
if you guys,
If you
if
snooze,
you don't
you
see it,
lose.
it is. Yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, we're getting into the ETW versus HWC times where we already saw Josh make an appearance. So it's not like, even though you are splitting apart to keep doing your own thing, y'all are still fucking homies. You're still kids. Like you're hanging out fucking.
Me and like I know I talked to Josh on the phone maybe not too long after all this and decided that it made sense to show up at each other's things.
Right.
And then that's whenever this all started and we started to feud. But it was awesome because like we were at this point we were like all back together. We just didn't really know it.
Right.
You know, but it really was like the beginning of the end in a sense too.
Right.
Because once ETW versus HWC happened, like I still wasn't like in ETW because it dissipated, and you see there's an episode where I'm talking to Ronnie and I'm like, hey, we didn't do too bad, we tied. So we talked about how we tied, and then Death was on HWC.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
And
essentially
I was
the
like,
idea. I remember the idea of that show had a very similar idea of the twist ending as the
Yep.
ETW or his dictatorship.
History repeated itself. We gotta see the attack footage.
I remember there was an idea I don't know if it ever happened, but I remember it was talked about of a match starting at Josh's house and then fighting all the way to JP's house.
I remember the conversation.
That would be fucking fantastic.
Because it was only separated by, what, 2 streets?
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
wouldn't
much.
have taken very long.
Well, it would have. but we would have had, we had the... Back then, it's like, we're close enough. But, that would have been a lot of boring footage.
So here we have what I think is the first of the footage, right?
This is after the first attack. So the first attack happened in mine and JP's match before this.
Okay.
It's all gonna be good. We should be safe. Like, honestly.
He jumped you from the front.
Yep. I had to just pause and think of something to say, I think.
Who's attacking you?
That's Josh.
Who was in the match?
Mackenzie was playing
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah, right.
From ETW has come out to an HWC show and is beating up the owner.
Former
HWC.
business partner. Look at Mako.
Waiting at the ring. Oh, throws Mad Dog off the pole.
This is incredible.
Holding him.
I'm getting what I deserve here.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you
ETW
absolutely-
has come to kick my ass.
Throw him into the ring. Little J's getting into the ring.
Because you left?
Yep.
Well, I invaded their show first, I think.
You did. You invaded
No,
that.
no, it's just because he left. Yeah, there was bad blood there.
Yeah.
And we tied. Come on.
Right.
Well, this is before the tie.
Oh, okay.
Mako, cleaning house.
Well, Little J, he's going for the
But I remember, you had Matt, you had Ronnie, and you had Travis on the roster, and I was like, man, none of those guys are reliable.
Oh, no, dude, we didn't even have wrestlers. But Cora wrestled every show.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably twice.
What happened there with Joe? Did you see that? He went to Frog Splash, he just landed on his feet.
He's like, you're done. So is
JP,
this...
were you starting to feel like you were getting out of it at this time, or were you still having fun?
I was having fun, man.
Yeah, you
I
were
didn't-
riding.
Yeah, I just
HWC production.
went along with it.
Good night.
Man, we got wrecked. Imagine having to end a show on your own turf, just laying there after
Right,
getting
good.
beat
That's good,
down.
though. That's good drama. That's good.
So, is this after it, or is there still a show between?
No, this is the end.
Oh, yeah. So that's us talking about
Right.
the results, and then this is the end of HWC.
Yeah.
Because it's funny. I announced another pay-per-view.
Right.
Huh.
And it just we never did it though.
Probably,
It never
yeah.
happened. It was kind of done. And you'd assume I would have went on vacation, which is when Out of Control 2 happened, which was the first time the base was ever wrestled on.
Yes.
So I immediately am disconnected from the base.
Right.
Because I'm like, what? This is the thing now, and it felt like guys were just dropping off left and right after that.
Well, it was also happening, too, even before that, because at this point we would have been freshmen in high school. It was already so hard to get people to care. Like, Mackenzie was on a swim team.
That's you, by the way, JP.
Mackenzie had his band, just like he didn't care. So even though he lived 2 houses down from Josh, like he wasn't always necessarily home.
Yeah, that's true.
And just, like other things just to get everyone to collaborate. It was very hard even before, because I remember when we had the second Royal Rumble show, I think Mackenzie wasn't there. He was supposed to be there, and he just didn't show up. And I was like, what do we do? And
it was falling apart.
yeah, and I remember he was caught in traffic or whatever, but he was probably just didn't want to come.
Right.
Crazy that there
this
was
would
just
have
a
been at my
savior
house.
up in Baldwin.
What's that?
Nothing.
So that was even before the base even happened, just people just, we had been doing it for essentially 2 years at this point.
Yeah.
And the fact that we were able to do it at all as kids.
Dude, I have a picture on my phone from December 2004 of us wrestling.
How
so
long have you had that phone?
Well, it's a picture from the camera, but yet a long time.
So, yeah, from December 2004, probably before that, all the way up until July 20th, 2006 was essentially the story of your time in ETW and HWC. And around this time is, like you said, right when the base was coming into order.
Right.
This episode has I think, been fantastic. I think we had a lot of fun. We talked about a lot of shit. Everything went really
Speak
well.
for yourself. I didn't have any fun.
Well, I think that me and JP had a lot of fun.
Yes.
And I think that you guys should show up and we'll do this again sometime.
I just wish JP was here for this.
But yeah, so I guess the next episode, we're just going to talk about the base, you know?
Yeah.
We'll run it. We'll see what happened from there on. And then maybe I pop in around that point.
We had a lot to cover today.
A lot more than I thought we would, honestly. Like, at first, when Dominic and I were talking about this, we expected this episode to go an hour. And I said, what do you think about an hour? And he's like, might be a little long. And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see what we can talk about. And then as we go through and find all this footage and come up with all this information and just all this great shit that you guys are doing, which is just fucking fantastic. It's been so fun. I've been here, stoned to shit, watching you guys do Backyard Wrestling from 2006 for like essentially the last month now.
Yeah.
And it's been a fucking blast. So yeah, I love it. Everything was a lot of fun for me to watch, that's for sure.
I'm wearing an HWC shirt. You could see it. You can see it. We're physically bigger.
Yeah.
We got other stuff going on.
Right.
We're in school. We got girlfriends.
Stuff,
like it's sad because you literally see us as children, and now we're like teenagers in high school. Like
still children, but back then it didn't feel like it.
Dude, I went from not touching a boob to now I touched a boob.
Right.
Yeah. Potentially
awesome.
two.
I'm still
depending
waiting
on
for my
how far
first.
you moved.
Yeah, true.
It's just wild, man.
Yeah, ETW to HWC, that's a wrap on MoCap. We'll catch you next time for the episode about the base, and around the mountain after that, we'll have a little NWW Pittsburgh, and we'll introduce Spike and Hack Hedgerman. And, you know, if this works out, we can do a lot of fucking episodes of this. Clearly, tonight's probably going to be 2 episodes. Maybe only 1, but probably 2.
Do 2, yeah.
And I just feel like there's so much that we can cover. And we could sit here and talk about shit forever and stuff that we missed talking about tonight that we'll remember in the future, whatever. Like, we got a bunch of shows to look at. We got a lot of great backyard wrestling. And I do mean great backyard wrestling. And just because something doesn't look like it should be on TV doesn't mean it wasn't fucking awesome for the time.
Right.
So, like, yeah, this stuff right now, would I pay to be sitting here in attendance? Probably.
Yes.
Most likely. Like, what, $1? Yes, I'm in. Absolutely. But, like, being able to look back on this shit and watch it with you guys, it's just going to be a good time. So
I'm really excited to see the growth. I know you're saying that you're seeing the growth in the match structure.
Right.
I don't see that yet, but I'm excited to see that happen.
Yeah,
in some
absolutely.
capacity.
Right. And, like, we'll see JP follow along for the next 4 years after this and have, like, 3 or 4 things to say about every episode. It'll be fantastic. But,
fuck yeah.
Yeah, hey, what's your new favorite word?
Butt pussy.
No, that's not the word.
Bussy.
There you go. And we'll end it with that. Golden Triangle Media out.